So anyways, I'm happy to be here with y'all. Actually, if you are part of the Think Realty community, so you have maybe seen myself and my father, Brent Kesler. We've been around speaking at some of the live events. And actually, if you're going to be in Orlando later on this year in September, I'll be there. So come and hang out, meet us in person. So I know I only have about 45 minutes here today with y'all. And to be honest, I got about 90 minutes worth of material that I would love to go through. So I'm not going to get through everything today, but I will be back even tomorrow with another segment so we can hang out and chat and keep learning together. So this concept that I share, so I travel all around the country and I teach on a concept called the infinite banking concept. Now, some of you, maybe you have heard about this before, but maybe it's never been explained in this way. And some of you, this may be your first time ever hearing this information, and I'm about to wow and challenge some of your conventional thinking when it comes to our money. So here's the thing, y'all. You guys are really, really great at making the money, okay? We're great at making it, but you suck at keeping it. So I just want to show you and teach you about a concept and a process of how to keep the money that you're already making. I don't want you to change anything that you're already doing. I don't want you to work longer hours, take on any additional risk with your money, lose the control of the cash flow. All we're doing is we're just adding this one additional step into our financial life. So myself, this is what I do in my real estate investing. I'm more on the paper side of real estate. I like to do lending and notes. And through this concept is how I go and I make my real estate investments. So the name of my company, The Money Multiplier, and you can also see my contact information down there on the screen, my cell phone number, my email, and then also our website, themoneymultiplier.com. But who am I, right? So my name's Hannah. I actually grew up in the Kansas City area. I now live down here in Daytona Beach, Florida. I've been living here since 2018. And let me tell you, I'll never change my Floridian residency. I love it down here. But how my family got introduced to this concept. So you see this bald-headed guy right there? Yeah, that's my dad. His name is Brent Kesler. And actually, Dad, he's a chiropractor, no longer practices chiropractic anymore. He sold his last clinic in 2017, but he had 5 clinics in the Kansas City area. And actually, Dad, it was back in 2006. Dad was at a chiropractic convention, just like how y'all are right now. He was sitting in the audience, and there was a gentleman up there on stage teaching about this infinite banking concept. And Dad was kind of sitting there with his arms crossed like this, and he goes, "Man, that stuff looks really, really good, but it kind of looks just too good to be true." Have you ever heard something like that? Something too good to be true? So what Dad did is he bought Nelson's book. And I'll talk about Nelson here in a second. But he bought Nelson's book and he went back home. He put the book on a shelf and he didn't do anything with the information. 2 years later, 2008, he went back to the same chiropractic convention and he was greeted by about 10 or 12 of his colleagues. And they were coming up to him, hooting and hollering about this banking concept. "Brent, isn't this concept so cool? I'm able to pay the salaries of my key employees. I'm paying the overhead expenses of the office, and I'm all able to do so and recycle and recapture all of that money back to me." And Dad, excuse me, and Dad kind of thought to himself, "Well, man, there's no way that 10 or 12 of my closest colleagues are lying to me right now. There's maybe 1 or 2 that could be lying to me, but there's no way that 10 or 12 of them are lying to me about this stuff." So that's when my family took action. It was back in 2008. And at that time, Dad had almost $1 million of debt. He's actually got it nailed down to the exact penny, but he had almost $1 million of debt. And by implementing this concept, he was able to pay it off in 39 months. 3 years and 3 months. He didn't work any harder, see more patients, take any additional risk, or lose control of the money. He just changed where the money was going first. So we'll kind of get into it today. And also, I got to talk to y'all just a little bit about our Nelson Nash here. Nelson, he is our mentor. He is really the gentleman that brought this concept to the public's eye. He's the author of this Black book, Becoming Your Own Banker. And I highly, highly recommend you need to add this book to your wealth building library. You can go out, go to Amazon, go purchase the book. You can go to our website, themoneymultiplier.com. But I just want you to know where this information is coming from. And I'm telling y'all, Nelson, he is not the inventor of this concept. I mean, this concept that I'm about to share with y'all, it's been around for over 200 years. It's actually been around longer than our tax code's been here. Tax code's only been here since 1913. So with this, Nelson is just the gentleman that really opened the public's eyes to what you can do to become your own banker, to no longer have to rely on the commercial banks or the government or the Fed to take care of us. So I just want you to know where all of this information is coming from. And then also, if you got a little ADD like myself, it also comes with 2 hours of audio. All right. So go out there, go get that book. Now, another resource I want to give to y'all too, and here's my gift to y'all as well, just for being here on this webinar today and sharing some time with me. This is a book that my dad and Chris Naugle wrote together, Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery. Now, some of y'all may know Chris Naugle. He's very active in the real estate space. He lives up in Buffalo, New York. He had a few shows on HGTV, one of them called Risky Builders. But go follow Chris Naugle and what he's doing. Go look at him on his YouTubes. He posts about one YouTube video every single day. But go and really see what Chris Naugle is posting out there in his education when it comes to money and real estate. So my gift to y'all, if you send me an email, Hannah spelled the same ways, forwards and backwards, Hannah at themoneymultiplier.com. I will send you a copy of this ebook, Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery. So send me an email and I'll send it to you in your way. Now, to be totally clear about what we're going to be here talking about today. Money, 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 money. Some people got to have it. Some people. All right, so money is what we're going to be here talking about. Now, in order for us to have this conversation about money, we have to have a definition. We just got to agree on the definition of money. So if I were to ask y'all, what is the definition of money? What would you tell me? Go ahead and put it in the chat box right now. What would you tell me? I'll tell you. The definition of money, all money is it's nothing more than a means of exchange. Is it not? All we do with money all day long is we exchange it for the goods, products, and the services that we're buying in life. Money for food, food for money, money for car, car for money, money for house, house for money, right? That's all that money is. So for the next 6.5 hours here that I have your attention today, that's going to be our definition of money. So can we agree on that? Okay. Now, this concept that I'm going to share with y'all, this is not what our parents are doing. It's not what our boss is doing, our friends, our colleagues, our coworkers are doing with their money. This is going to be a paradigm shift that we're going to walk through today. I love to play this short video because it really gets our minds geared into being open and receptive to new ideas and new ideologies. But because of my time here today, I'm not going to play this video. So I have some homework that I want y'all to go and do tonight. If you go to YouTube and you search up the backwards bicycle, this video will pop up. It's about 7.5 minutes long, not a long video. But this backwards bicycle is a really good starting point to being open to new ideas. So I'm just going to play a short few seconds of it. So when you go home tonight and study this in nauseating detail, you know that you're on the right video.
Hey, it's me, Destin. Welcome back to Smarter Every Day. You've heard people.
All right. Now there's a gentleman. He goes by the name of Will Rogers. You know what Will Rogers says? He says the problem in America isn't so much what people don't know, it's what they think they know that just ain't so. So again, a lot of the things that we've been taught about money, dollars, and wealth may not actually be the truth. So as I go through this, I know you're going to have questions. I'm telling y'all, I travel around and I speak at anywhere from 50 to 70 live events a year, and I know the questions that you are going to ask me. So please write your questions down. My dad has always taught me a short pencil is better than a long memory. So write your questions down because I want to be here to help answer them. I'll give you my cell phone number, my email, and we can connect one-on-one, but don't just try to keep them up here because if you keep them up here, you're going to forget it. So write those questions down and I promise I'll be here to answer them as we go through this. All right, today we're going to talk about how does our money flow and the method to get all of the money back. Y'all, before I get done here today, I'm going to show you how to get all the money back for just the cars you're buying for yourself in your life. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Hannah, I'm here on Think Realty. This is a real estate platform. Why are we talking about cars? Well, it's just because everybody understands cars. We've all bought in cars, driven cars, ridden in cars. We all understand cars. But this concept can work for anything, a bicycle, an airline ticket, rehab on a property, vacations, my taxes, anything and everything that we're buying and financing through life. So before I get done today, I'm going to show you how to get all the money back for just the cars that we're buying for ourselves and our family in our life. So if you get nothing more from this conversation, hopefully I show you just how to get all the money back for all the cars that you're buying for yourself. If I do that, I think it's going to be a pretty cool day. We're going to talk about the mysteries of money, the machine. I mean, what is the machine that we're going to be using to build our wealth? We're going to talk about the mission and the marathon. I'm telling you right now, this is not a get rich quick kind of deal. This is a marathon. This is a lifestyle change, a process that we're adding to our financial life. We're going to talk about the millionaire and then the movement. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. You see that there's 3 calculators up here on the screen. Let's make believe that we are in the market and we just want to go purchase ourselves a car. And right now, down at your local bank, let's say that we have $25,000 that's sitting there at the bank. And we're going to make believe that we found a really, really good bank, and that bank is paying you 4% on your money. Okay, I know there may be not, but there's a method to my madness here. All right, so let's just make believe that we found a really, really good bank and they're going to pay us 4% on the money. So you walk into the bank, and let's say I'm your bank teller. You walk into the bank and you say, Banker Hannah, I want to take out that 25,000 that's earning me 4%, and I want to go pay cash for my car. And y'all tend to bump up your chest like this. I want to go pay cash for it. Y'all love paying cash for things. You think when you pay cash for stuff, you don't got to pay any payments and you don't got to pay any interest. But is that true? Ponder on it. We'll come back to it. So you walk in and you say, Banker Hannah, I want to take out that 25,000 and I want to go pay cash for my car. And I tell you, I say, no, no, no. Instead, how about I make you a loan for 25,000? I'll make you a loan for 25,000 and I'm going to charge you 6% interest. Now, if I were to take out a loan for 25,000, how long is it normally going to take me to pay off that loan? I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Let's go with 5 years or 60 months. So I'm going to take out this loan, 25,000. The banker's going to charge me 6% interest, and I'm going to have this loan outstanding for 5 years or 60 months. So what I'm saying is instead of me going in here and taking out my 25,000 that's earning me 4%, instead, how about I give you this loan of 25,000? I'm going to charge you 6% interest. And over the same equal time period of 5 years or 60 months, our bank is going to pay you more money on the 25 that you're earning at 4 than you'll pay us on the 25 that you're borrowing at 6. Is that a true statement? In other words, can I make money earning 4% at the same time I'm paying 6? Well, my simple mind is thinking, well, no, because if I earn 4, pay 6, 4 minus 6 equals -2. That math doesn't make sense. Well, the banker's telling you the truth, and I want to walk through it. If you were to take out that loan of 25,000, 6% interest, your monthly payment would be 483.32 a month. Take that 483.32 times the 60 months, that means you paid 28,999 for the car. So 25 in principal and about $4,000 in interest. And over the same time period of the 60 months, your savings account has a balance of 30,525. So here's my question. Is this 30,525? Is this a larger number than the 28,999? Or do y'all do math differently than I do down here in Florida? It's a larger number. Well, why is it a larger number? I thought if I earn 4, pay 6, I'm losing 2. Do you have any ideas? And again, when I teach this live, I get a lot of good responses back from the audience. But here's what's going on. Your savings account, this is on an increasing scale. This is going up each and every month. While your payment calculator, this is going down every single month. So one's going down, the other one's going up, but our minds are programmed to think that way. So with this short, simple exercise, I just wanted to prove to you that we can make money all day long, earning 4 at the same time we're paying 6. Y'all, run the math. Every week, I actually have a podcast show. It's called the Money Multiplier Podcast. It's on all platforms, even YouTube. I even walked through a real life example of earning 10% at the same time I'm paying 20. The math still comes out on top. I'm still coming out on top, earning 10 while I'm paying 20. We got to understand how money really works. I'm telling you right now, it is not the rate of the interest that's killing us. It's the volume of the interest that we're sending out the door to other people. So why was my 4 and 6% important? Let's talk about the machine. The machine that we're going to be using to build our wealth. Drum roll, please. The machine, a whole life insurance policy with a mutually owned insurance company that pays dividends. Now, I wish you could be sitting over here because I see all of y'all in the audience right now. I can see you through your cameras right now. And I get it. Before you run out of the room and you vomit on me, you're thinking to yourself, Hannah, I know everything that there is to know about whole life insurance. Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, they told me whole life insurance is the worst place to put my money. I get it. I get it. My dad, he was a Dave Ramsey's baby steps follower. Do you get why it took him 2 years now to start this concept? Here's my question. Why do we want to use whole life? Why do we want to use whole life? I'll tell you why. The number one purchasers of whole life insurance in the world are conventional banks. The elite and the wealthy, they are using this vehicle to build, keep, and create wealth within inside of their families and their businesses. Are banks stupid, or are they doing something the rest of us just don't know about? And y'all, I want you to go out there and I want you to fact check me on this. Go Google something called BOLI, B-O-L-I. It stands for bank-owned life insurance. You can look up the hundreds of pages that come up of how much whole life insurance these banks actually own. In a matter of fact, since 2013, banks have even quadrupled the amount in whole life insurance that they own. Again, are they stupid? Or are they doing something the rest of us just don't know about? They're probably doing something. Now, let me be totally clear though. This is not just that regular whole life insurance they can go buy off the shelf from your brother-in-law that sells life insurance. We all got a brother-in-law that sells life insurance, do we not? No, this needs to be designed specifically for this high cash value banking. And what I mean by that is when I put my dollar into my policy, I have an immediate cash value in there. My definition of immediately is within 30 days. I have that immediate cash value that I can leverage and pull out of the policy to then go do XYZ business ventures of what I want to do with the money. So let's go back. Why was my 4 and 6% important? Inside of the policy, we get a guaranteed interest rate. We get a guaranteed interest rate inside of that policy. And that's just not my flabbing gums telling you that. That's written inside of that policy contract. And the largest interest rate that the insurance company will charge us to take out a loan is 6%. So can I make money earning 4 at the same time I'm paying 6? Yes. All right, and I told you I'm going to kind of go through this a little bit quick. I'll show you how you can go back and rewatch all of this information, but just because of my time here today. So now that we know what the machine is, let's get a little bit deeper into money. You know, what is the definition of money? We talked about that. Money is nothing more than a means of exchange. Well, what's the purpose of money? Well, the purpose of money is that I can go and buy the things in life. I can make my real estate investments. I can send the kids to college. I can pay my taxes. I can give to charity. That's the purpose of money. Let's talk about money. Who in here believes in compound interest? Most of us. We've all been taught that compound interest is such a great thing. But in order for compounding to actually work, we have to let our money or product or goods sit still somewhere. So let's say that I have this $20 bill here, and I want this $20 bill to go and compound. I walk into the bank, I say, hey, Mr. Banker, here's my 20 bucks. I hand it over to them, and now it's compounding. If I go back in a year, a month, a day, and I withdraw that $20, I've now stopped the compounding on that money. But isn't motion a natural law of God? Everything in life is about motion. I'm over here, I'm flailing my arms. I can see all the boats going by in the inner harbor right now. I can see the airlines and the birds going by up in the sky. Everything in life is about motion. Who in here wants to eat fish out of a stagnant pond? I don't. Compounding stops that motion. I want you to name me one business in the world that actually uses compound interest. I know which one you're thinking about. You're thinking banks. Banks, Hannah, banks use compound interest. Well, let's think about that. Do they use compound interest? No. They pay you compound interest. They charge you compound interest, but they're not using it themselves. Here's what I mean. If I take this $20 bill and I highlight it and I put my initials on it and I take it back to the bank and I say, hey, Mr. Banker, here's my $20. Do you think that there's a little black box in the back that says Hannah Kesler and they wait and put my money in there until I come back and I retrieve it again? No, because if I go back in a month, a year, a few hours, and I want to take back out my $20, do you think they're going to give me the same $20 bill that I highlighted and I put my initials on? No, because what are banks doing? They're lending it. Banks are moving the money. They're in the lending business. So not one business in the world actually uses compound interest. How much does a grocery store make if fresh produce isn't moving on and off the shelves? Zero. How much do people in the car dealership business make if cars aren't moving on and off the lot and they're sitting there and compounding? Zero. How much do we make in the real estate business if tenants aren't moving in, people aren't buying properties? Zero. Not one business in the world actually uses compound interest. So don't you think it's a little strange that these big major institutes, banks, Wall Street, mutual funds, they all tell us to park our money there with them, but they're not doing it themselves? Isn't that a little strange? Just want you to get to understand what's going on here. How about a 401k or IRA? Who's got one of those qualified accounts? Okay, and I will disclose, not include, I should say, those self-directed accounts. I understand for my folks in the real estate space, y'all like to use those self-directed accounts for that. But why do we have one of those qualified accounts? Well, the reason that I have it is because I'm putting money away. I'm saving up for my future so that in the later stages, I can live off of this money, have a nice, secure retirement, right? Well, let's talk about that qualified account. Are there any guarantees in it? No. I mean, there's one guaranteed. It's guaranteed to never go below zero. But how fun and exciting would that be if that actually happened? Who controls that account? Is it you or somebody else? Somebody else. And on top of that, how long do you have to let your money sit in that 401k IRA qualified account just to avoid the 10% penalty? Age 59 and a half. You still got to pay the taxes on the money. You're just kicking the can down the street on the taxes. I want you to tell me everything that you know about that retirement account. No, wait, you don't tell me what you know. I'll tell you what you know. You know whether it goes up or down based on the quarterly statements that you get. You know whether it's invested in a low, moderate, or high risk category. But other than that, y'all don't know jack crap about your retirement accounts. There's no guarantees, and somebody else is controlling it. Why are you doing that with your money? You told me money is nothing more than a means of exchange. Y'all, as I sit here today, I'm 24 years old. I'll actually be 25 in 2 weeks. So if I were to go out there and put my money into a 401k, it would take me over 30 years until I'm age 59 and a half just to avoid that 10% penalty. If I were to take that same money and let's go say I purchase a car or purchase a house, it would be stupid and ridiculous for me to wait 30 years into the future to drive that car and move into the house. That would be crazy, right? Why are you doing that with your money? You told me money is nothing more than a means of exchange. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Are dollars worth more today or in the future? They're worth more today. And if you ever forget about that, think about how many candy bars you could buy 10 years ago for $1 and how many you can buy today for $1. And our taxes going to go up or go down? They're going to go up. And if they don't go up, aren't we taxed on more crap all the time? And when you go and pay the tax on your money, do you want to pay tax on the small amount the seed or the large amount the harvest? The seed, right? Well, I agree with all 3 of those answers, but you are totally violating them by putting your money in that 401k, that IRA, that qualified account. Because what you're doing is you're giving up good dollars today to get paid back with weaker, non-guaranteed dollars in the future. And you're kicking the can down the street because the taxes are always going to be there. And when you go and pay the tax on the money, you're paying it at the large amount the harvest. Why are you doing that? Oh, but here's what y'all tell me. Hannah, get this, get this. I got one of those really cool special snowflake retirement accounts, and I get a match in that account. I get a match in that retirement account. All right, well, if the principal's not guaranteed, I don't know how the match can be guaranteed, but let's go with your theory that you get a match. You told me that money is nothing more than a means of exchange. So if I were to take this $20 bill and I were to go down to the grocery store and I were to purchase myself a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk, And then I come back home and I put the loaf of bread, gallon of milk in the freezer, and then I wait 5, 10, 15, 30 years in the future. And I open up that freezer. Guess what's in there now? 2 loaves of bread and 2 gallons of milk. How much more fun and exciting is that second loaf of bread and second gallon of milk going to taste? It's still going to be freezer burnt, is it not? I just want you to start to understand what's going on. Start thinking for yourself and questioning. Okay, this is one of my favorite things to talk about, how banks work. I'm not going to get into it today because of time, but I will show you how you can go back and watch all of this. But it gets really interesting understanding how these banks really operate on. Now, let's get into the fun stuff. I told you I was going to show you how to get all the money back for all the cars that you're going to buy for yourself. So let's walk through this example. Let's do a quick recap here. What is the machine that we're using? The machine that we're using, a whole life insurance policy. And now it's got to be designed specifically for this infinite banking concept, having high immediate cash value. And when I say immediately, my definition of immediately is within 30 days. Here's where the paradigm shift starts to happen. So if you've been sleeping up to this point, now it's time to start waking up. Your premiums are our deposits. Because when I put that premium deposit into the policy, I have a cash value in there that's made available to me immediately. And if I put money into an account that I own, I control, and I have immediate liquidity to it, is it treated more as a payment or a deposit? I think deposit. And what word do you like better, payment or deposit? Hopefully deposit. Have you ever made too many deposits into your bank account? Hopefully the answer is no. Also on the policy, there's age and death benefit. Now I'll blow this up. You'll see that age and death benefit are grayed out. Why are they grayed out? Because they do not matter. Oof. All right, I hit a chord with some people. I know I got a few analyticals here on the call, and I get it. My mama, she's actually a nuclear engineer, so I know how your analytical brains operate. So if I don't cover age and death benefit, you're not going to get anything that I say moving forward unless I cover age and death benefit. So let's talk about it, and let's talk about it quickly. Let's make believe that I have 3 individuals, age 20, 40, and 60, all in the same equal health, and they have a $20 bill in their pocket. They all walk into the grocery store. Who between age 20, 40, and 60 is going to be able to buy the most amount of groceries with their $20? Well, all of them, right? Doesn't matter how good you look, how bad you smell, color of your skin, the language that you speak. Same $20 is going to buy you the same amount of groceries. Now let's walk across the street to the life insurance store. Age 20, 40, and 60, same health. How much, who between my 20, 40, and 60-year-old is going to be able to buy the most amount of death benefit with their $20? The younger one, right? That just makes sense. The younger one's going to be able to buy the most amount of death benefit. But we're not here talking about death benefit. Death benefit's going to be on the policy whether you like it or not. We are here talking about the cash and the cash value that I can use from this policy. And I really want to drive that point home because I'm going to get done here today. And a few of you are going to come up to me and you're going to say, Hannah, that was a really, really cool concept, but I can't do this because I'm too old. No, just because you're older just means that you're going to have a lower death benefit compared to somebody like me who's in their 20s. But if we put the same amount of premium deposits into our policy, the cash is going to be the same. And that's what we're here talking about today is the cash in the policy. So in this example, this individual, he says, okay, I am going to put $10,000 a year into my policy. And how I want you to really think about this policy, this is nothing more than just your glorified savings account. That's all that this policy is. So in this example, he says, hey, I know that I can pay myself first $10,000 a year or about $835 a month. So I'm going to start my policy $10,000 a year. Now, you get to decide the premium that you want to put into your policy. If 10,000 is too large to swallow, shave off a zero, do 1,000. If 10,000 is too easy, add a zero, do 100,000. You get to decide how much you want to put into your policy. When I was 18 years old, I started my first policy $400 a month. I was a waitress at Cracker Barrel at the time. Heck no, I couldn't do 10,000 a year into a stupid life insurance policy. So start where you're comfortable at. I did 400 a month. That's where I started at. So in this example, he's putting in 10,000 a year into his policy and he's paying it for the next 7 years. Now, what he's going to do is in year four, he's in the market and he wants to go purchase a car. So what he's going to do, he's looking at this $25,000 car. He's going to take out $25,000 from his cash value that's in the policy, and he's going to go and take the 25 and go walk down to the car dealership and hand over the money. So I take my 25,000, I hand it over to the car dealership. They got the money, I got the car, everybody walks away. The transaction's done. But now, because I borrowed from myself in my privatized bank, do you think it's a good idea that I should pay myself back and charge myself interest? I see a lot of head nodding. You all say, yes, Hannah, yes, that's a good idea. But do you ever do it? No. Treat your money just how you treat the banker's money. Pay yourself back and charge yourself interest. Because if you don't, all you're saying is the banker's money is more valuable than your money. And that's not the truth. So what he's going to do is he's going to pay himself back $500 a month or $6,000 a year for the next 5 years. So let's see what happened from year 1 to year 8. I put in $70,000 as my premium deposits into this policy. Plus, I put back $30,000 for the car purchase. So I put in a total of 100, but I took out 25 to go purchase the car. So I put in 100, I've taken out 25. Put in 100, taken out 25. So my true net injection is $75,000. But I'm sitting here at year 8 with 73,226 as cash value in the policy. If you take the 75,000 divided into the 73,226, you just got back 97 cents for every dollar that you spent on that car. How much money do you have back today for just the cars that you purchased up to this point in your life? Zero. Well, you're probably thinking to yourself, Hannah, I don't get it. I'm not getting it quite yet. How is the money still growing even though I've taken it out and I'm using it? All right, stop. Time to stop burping the baby and putting away the dishes. Listen up, people. The reason that the cash is still growing is because we are not withdrawing the money out of the policy. What I'm doing is I'm putting my policy up for collateral and I'm taking a loan from the general funds of the insurance company. So I'm using their $25,000, which then allows my money to still sit in the policy to grow and compound as if it was never even touched. This is what's called uninterrupted compounding interest. Or if you really want to nerd out on this stuff, it's really called the opportunity cost of the money. I don't want to get cheesy on y'all, but do you guys know a name? A name is a gentleman by the name of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein says that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it, and those who don't pay it. What do you think we've been doing all these years, being consumers to the commercial banks and paying them all of our compound interest? Now that I know the game, I'm just going to play the game right along there with them. Let's move on. Let's say that, mama purchased the car and daddy was walking for the last 8 years. So now it's daddy's time to go purchase a car. So, okay, I'm in the market now and I want to purchase another $25,000 car. Where do I pull this $25,000 from? The cash value that's inside of my policy. Take out the 25,000. Now there's no more premiums that are going inside of this policy at this time. But if I'm a good coach, you will quickly understand that you want to pay these premiums for as long as you can and as much as you can. Because, hey, again, have you made too many deposits inside of your bank account? Hopefully not. But in this example, just to isolate the car purchase, no more premiums are going into the policy. So I take out my 25,000 and I do the same exact steps. Take out the 25, walk down to the car dealership. Hey, Mr. Car Dealer, there's my money. You hand me the car. Everybody walks away. I'm going to do it again. Pay myself back $500 a month or $6,000 a year for the next 5 years. Let's see what happened from year 9 to year 13. I put in 30,000 as my loan repayments back to myself, but I took out 25 for the car. Put in 30, took out 25. So my true net injection is 5,000. I put in $5,000 from year 9 to year 13, and my cash grew from 73,000 to 95,000. That's a $22,000 plus growth with a $5,000 net injection. How do you like buying cars my way? Is there anything stupid, ridiculous, or idiotic here that I'm doing? No, man, I just bought a stupid ass life insurance policy and I'm using it to go and purchase my cars. I got to go purchase the cars anyways. Ooh, Hannah, that wasn't very nice. Why'd you use the word ass? Because some of y'all are not paying attention, but after I say that word ass, y'all are right back here to my computer screen. So hello, welcome back to class. It's happy to see you. Because I want y'all to really get this. Look to see what just happened here from year 1 to year 13. And y'all, 13 years goes by pretty darn quick in our lifetime, right? 13 years ago, I was 11 years old. Oof. That probably hit a chord with some of y'all. Just playing. All right, so let's see what happened here from year 1 to year 13. I put in 70,000 as my premium deposit, plus my 30 for the first car purchase, plus another 30. So I put in a total of 130,000 inside of this policy. But I took out 25 for car 1 and 25 for car 2. So I put in 130 and I taken out 50. 130 minus 50 is 80,000. So my true net injection is 80,000 inside of this policy. And I'm sitting here in year 13 with 95,000 as cash value in the policy. You know what else I have? That 95,000. I also have 2 used cars that are sitting in the driveway that I can sell, donate, get rid of if I wanted to. How much did it really cost me to buy, drive, and own these cars? Well, my simple mind is thinking, well, nothing. I kind of made a little bit of money by doing this. But I can't sit here and tell you that it costs you nothing to buy, drive, and own these cars because you had to start this system. You had to start this policy. Year 1, when you put in that premium deposit, you don't have access to that full dollar for dollar quite yet. But are you in this for the short term or the long term? Y'all tell me long term, but you tend to get hung up in short term thinking. Do y'all know a guy by the name of Rick Warren? Rick Warren says that life is like a marathon. It doesn't matter how you start, it only matters how you finish. This is the game of life. Now that I know how to play this game with the elite and the wealthy, I'm just going to play the game right along there with them. Y'all, and I challenge you, go and look up what these elite families are doing because there's us and the super wealthy, us and the super wealthy. We all have access to the same financial tools, do we not? It's just how the wealthy are using these tools is different from average Joe people like you and I. So if you go look up the Morgan, Stanleys, Barclays, Rothschilds, go look up to see how they keep, build, and create that generational wealth within their family. Here's the things. Rule number one, pay yourself first. If you get nothing more from this conversation that we had here today, pay yourself first. I don't even know y'all, but I know how you spend your money. You get money that comes into the door and you go pay everybody else first. The house people, the car people, Bobby's soccer practice, Susie's piano lessons. And you just hope and wait that there's some left over for you. Stop it. Treat yourself as your number one asset. Pay yourself first. And that should be the premium deposits that go into the policy. Rule number two, pay yourself back and charge yourself interest. Treat your money just how you treat the bank's money. Play that honest banker with yourself. And rule number three, recycle and recapture the money. If this works for a car, y'all, what else can it work for? Can it work for my MacBook computer? That was the first ever purchase I ever did at 18 years old with my policy. How about this? Instead of this being 1,000, or excuse me, instead of this being 10,000 a year premiums, what if this was 1,000 a year premiums? And instead of this being a $25,000 car, it's a $2,500 MacBook computer. Does the concept still work the same? Yes, it's just lower numbers. How about instead of this being 10,000 a year, this is 100,000 a year premiums, and this is a $250,000 investment property? Does the concept still work the same? Yes, it's just bigger numbers. How about for my lenders on the call? Here's what I do. Let's say somebody calls me up and they need 25 grand to go do a rehab on a property. Okay, I'll lend you the 25,000. Where do you think I get the 25,000 from? The cash value in the policy. Then who do you think is paying me back this 500 a month or 6,000 a year? My borrower. Ooh, that just kind of got a lot of fun, right? Y'all, this is not on trial. It's not being tested. I want to give you some other resources here. You know, a gentleman by the name of Robert Kiyosaki, famous for the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but he also wrote this other book called Second Chance. In that book, Second Chance, Robert Kiyosaki talks about this concept, but you read right through it and didn't think a second thing of it because it's never been explained to you this way. Or how about Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game? Chapter 5.4 in that book, Tony Robbins talks about this concept. But again, you read right through it and didn't think a second thing of it. All right, Mr. Ryan, I know I'm going to go 2 more minutes here. So now, I'm not going to get through all of this. This is what's called the money multiplier map. This is actually a real life example of one of my dad's chiropractic colleagues, how he used this concept to go and pay off his debts, which would have normally taken him 18 years. But by implementing this, he was able to pay it off in 5 years and 1 month. So I'm going to show you how to go back and watch some of this stuff. I'm not going to go through these real life examples. Come hang out with me tomorrow. I'm going to show you some of these real life examples of other folks who have used this system: Walt Disney, McDonald's, Pampered Chef, J.C. Penney. But here's the thing: everything that I've told y'all up to this point has been fact. Now here's just my opinion. Now that you know this, everybody should be doing it. Because if you don't, all you're doing is you're stealing from yourselves, your children, your future generations to come, because you're letting the money leave the family. Warren Buffett says it best. If poor people would just start doing what rich people do, they wouldn't be poor anymore. How much freaking sense does that make, y'all? Now, there's only going to be 1 of 2 things that happen to us. We're either going to live or we're going to die. I like to use the word graduate, but you can use whatever word you want to use. But if we live, are we better off with or without this concept? Hopefully you think with. And if we die, pass, or graduate, are beneficiaries better off with or without this concept? Because yeah, there's a death benefit on the policy, whether you like it or not. How much did I even talk about death benefit today? How much did I even talk about that the policies are exempt from judgments and liens in most states? God forbid if I get sued, nobody can come after the money that's inside of my policies. OJ Simpson being a very big famous case. We can talk about that later. How about the internal values of the policy grow tax free? So, for my Californians, what's our largest eroder of wealth? Taxes. See, here's the thing. I want to pay tax on my money one time only at the lowest rate possible, and then get that money into a tax-free environment where now it's growing tax-free. And loans on the policy, loans never have to get paid back. You do not have to pay back the loan on the policy. I want you to. I'm going to coach you on how to play an honest banker, but is it a requirement? No, because a loan on the policy is nothing more than a prepayment of the death benefit. We are just using the death benefit early and while we're living. Now, this isn't the only reason we're doing this, but maybe one of the reasons why.
I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all.
All right. Y'all, reminder, send me an email. I'll send you a copy of our ebook, Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery. You can scan the QR code there. It'll take you to the full recorded presentation. You got my calendar link there. You got my cell phone number. I'm a big texter. Text me there, call me there. And then you also got my email address. So take a picture of the screen, share this with your friends and your family. If you were my friend and you were sitting on this webinar hearing about this powerful information and you did not share this with me, I'd be pissed and mad at you. Share this valuable knowledge with the people in our community, because that's all that we're here doing. We're just trying to escape the rat race and live our life on our own terms. And if I know how to master the money game, taking back my time freedom, I can go out there and sit my butt on the boat on a Wednesday afternoon if I please, right? That's why we're here doing this. So last thing that I'll say, and then I'm going to turn it back over to you, Ryan. Tomorrow, I will be back. Come and hang out with all of us in the community tomorrow. I'm actually going to get deep into, okay, if I use my policy to go fund my real estate investments versus if I pay cash for my real estate investments, where am I going to be out on top? Which one is better, route A or route B? So for my analytical people and you like the numbers, come and hang out tomorrow because I got a lot of valuable stuff coming your way. So I am done. Thank you, y'all, for the time here today.